Guys, it's Clobber Dude. I just wanted to do a quick review of the newest Daryl figure from The Walking Dead by McFarlane Toys. Um, this was not too great for a couple of reasons. Those of you that collect The Walking Dead figures know that the accessories come separate. You actually have to place them in their hands. I should say pry them in their hands, which in the case of previous figures, I have the Rick Grimes one and the Michonne one. Those were fine, especially Michonne because she was already holding the katana. But the Rick Grimes one is the same as this, but this one was even harder because you had to get the crossbow lined up just so that Daryl's holding it in the iconic pose. But in both instances, the handle of the crossbow, and with Rick it was just the handle of the revolver, which is what I used, but very similar where with this figurine he's got his index finger and thumb of his right hand kind of out. It's the three fingers that's supposed to curl around the handle of the crossbow that was a pain in the ass. They're like so tight, and if you just try to put it in his hands real simply, it's not going to happen. So it was really hard because basically what I had to do is with one hand hold the figurine and pull the three fingers out, while with the other hand getting the crossbow in the grip. And once it was in there, you could let go of the three fingers and kind of let them spring back, and everything was fine. But it took me a long time to do that because the grip that they made for this thing is just insane. I mean, I know why they do that, because this is meant to be just on a shelf so that, you know, it's just decoration or whatever on display and you look at it. But if that's the case, and especially with this figure where there weren't any other interchangeable accessories where you could put different things and, you know, in the hands, they should have just really had it already pre-installed in his hand, if you want to put it that way. It just should have been there already. That wasn't the only issue though. Now each arm has 3 hinge points. You got the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. Now, in addition to getting the handle of the crossbow in the grip, which was extremely difficult, it's also difficult to get each arm's height and each angle of the wrist and the elbow just so that Daryl is holding the crossbow as you see here. So I was messing around with that for a while, and I came to the conclusion that I really couldn't, you know, as I was struggling around, I really couldn't get it in there. But amidst my efforts, his right hand popped out. So once the right hand was out, I mean, it was already connected to the crossbow, but it popped out of his wrist. I couldn't get it back in. So then once I did that, it was like impossible. So unfortunately, I had to super glue his right hand back on and his left hand. That popped out as well. Now, to McFarlane, like, that attachment was just very poorly made. That someone actually has to take super glue to one of these figures, such as myself. The left hand wasn't bad. That was easy to put in there. Basically, I super glued that back, and then I simply placed the barrel of the crossbow right in there. Once I had that, having the right hand already attached to the grip of the crossbow, I then put super glue on the back side of the wrist and just kind of slid it so that it would line up correctly with the arm. The angle was really funky because I had to match the angle that the wrist was supposed to be so that it lined up and looked normal with the angle that the crossbow is supposed to be. So that actually took a couple tries because it actually kept coming off, and I'm having mini heart attacks because I don't want to get super glue on this thing. And if you look really close, you can see it's out of focus when I get really close, but you can see right there's a bit of a gap, a bit of imperfection. Obviously I have a very bright light shining on it, but I'm not very happy about that. But at this point, there's not really anything I can do about it. I mean, it kind of is what it is. Most of the time, it's far away, or I kind of step back. You can't even notice it, but, you know, it's there. So I'm not too happy about that. So basically, in general, this whole fiasco with getting this crossbow in the grip and to be held at the angle it was supposed to be held was a fucking pain in the ass, and you need to do a little better job, McFarlane, because that's just fucking ridiculous. Not so much moving the arm so he holds it correctly, but the fact that the hands pop out and they don't go back in, and they're supposed to be where you can take them off and put them back on, and then that was not possible. Other than that, which was a big problem for me, it came with the extra accessory pocket knife, which just goes in the sheath there. The attention to detail is amazing. That looks just like Norman Reedus. The detail work on the crossbow, on the clothing, I mean, down to his, you know, shoelaces in the boots, muscles, hair. I mean, it's even got, you know, classic insignia on the back of his jacket. I mean, just very well made figure as far as detail work and the likeness of Norman Reedus. It just looks amazing. And obviously you see there it came with this zombie head and a spine, which just put right there. You know, it's supposed to kind of sit next to him. So, I mean, as far as, like I said, the craftsmanship and the attention to detail, the coloring and all that stuff, the likeness, it's just out of the park. It's like, you know, 10 out of 10. The issues I had with getting the crossbow in there, and obviously the imperfection that arose because of the fact that I had to glue the fucking thing back on him. Not too happy about that. My other Walking Dead figures, I didn't have issues like that. So, I mean, I think they could have done a little better job with that, or perhaps in the future, like I say, just put the crossbow, you know, in his hands to begin with, so people don't have to go through this. But yeah, I mean, you know, looks cool. I'm not going to take it back or bitch at them for this, but, you know, yeah, so that's my little review of the Daryl Walking Dead McFarlane figurine. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps some of you. I don't know if other people have gone through similar issues with, you know, McFarlane figures, or specifically Walking Dead McFarlane figures, but I just thought I'd throw that out there because, yeah, that wasn't too fun. My thought was that I could perhaps, the little tiny imperfections on that right wrist, I could perhaps take a, you know, a little touch-up paint or something, but I'm afraid to do that because it might just make it worse, because the tone or the hue of his skin that they use, I highly doubt I'm going to be able to match that perfectly. And it's not just like a discoloration. There's actually like a bit of a gap there. So I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know. If I had to review this figure, it would be a 10 out of 10, but all the bullshit I had to go through and the fact that it doesn't look perfect anymore, I would probably give it a 6. Kind of really lowered it for me. But I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to put it up, and looking forward to the season finale of The Walking Dead this Sunday. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.